today is the big, scary, and very exciting day of starting the Airstream build. I'm wildly intimidated right now, and that's a very normal trend in my projects. If you've been with me for a while, you'll remember that back in the boiler restoration project, every single time I started a new project, I always was intimidated, but this is like that times 5, because the Airstream is way bigger and I have way bigger plans for it. So I'm really looking forward to just starting this project, so that way at least it's started and it's not some like daunting thing that looms in the corner of my property, and instead it can be an exciting project. But before I get started on this, I'd like to share the vision. So if you're new here, hi, welcome. I am Ellie and I purchased this Airstream about a year ago, and I also purchased this land about a year ago. And this land is very special and unique because it has been through a pretty devastating forest fire, and so there are no buildings whatsoever, and my way of staying true to my brand and also getting a roof over my head is bringing my 1972 bowler and my new 1969 Airstream onto the land. So the vision with the Airstream is actually to turn it into a full-sized kitchen and then a little lounge area on this side. So 2/3 of the Airstream is going to be kitchen, and then the back is going to be a little area for my couch, my computer, which I'll also use kind of as a TV, and maybe a little hookah lounge type vibe. So chill and work over there and cooking over here. And before we get started on demolition today, I think you've got a little bit of catching up to do. So when I picked up this Airstream, it was in pretty rough condition, but it had no leaks, which is so rare. However, it did have a pretty substantial mold problem. There was mold growing on every single surface. So before I went and traveled last winter, what I did was a 3-step process of mold mitigation. So using these spray bottles, I got to work by using industrial grade vinegar, leaving that for about 5 days, letting it dry, then food grade peroxide mixed with distilled water. Then I let that soak for a week, and then once it was fully dry, I used bleach solution. So doing some looking into things online, I learned that some molds respond better to different killers. I honestly thought bleach killed everything, but I decided to just give it my all with all 3 of these and just baptize the Airstream with all 3 of these solutions with space in between, and then leave it for the winter while I was traveling with a dehumidifier on and hope for the best. And to be honest, the Airstream is in way better shape than I expected coming back from abroad, but there are still some pretty substantial areas that concern me. And one of the biggest areas is these wooden shelves, and I think it's because they're made out of wood. So today, because we are working in the kitchen to begin with, what I'm going to be doing is the horrifying task of ripping up the floor from here forward, and then removing the shelves and getting ready to install a countertop, because the name of the game for me this summer is preparation for the winter. This is my first year on the land. Like I said, there was absolutely nothing on the land. So water, electricity, heat, a bathroom, a bedroom, all of these things need to be dealt with before it snows. And so part of that is installing a sink so that I can have running water, filtered water, and so that I can cook a little bit easier, especially when the weather hits. So that's what we're doing today. So even though I am not reusing these shelves, I am going to be using them as templates because they're cut perfectly. So I will mark them out. I'm pretty confused. What is holding this here? This side doesn't have any visible attachments. Okay. All right. one screw. Okay, and it's painted over. All right, is that the only screw that's holding this thing in? Let's find out. No. What are you attached by? Mold. Ugh, I really didn't want to have to wear a mask so early on. I'm a mold sissy, by the way, because I have asthma, so I really, really do not like mold. I mean, nobody likes it, but I really don't like it. So why not buy a moldy toaster oven and turn it into my kitchen? All right, I think that's what was holding this in. Now I think it's gonna release. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. What are you attached to? Nothing. What are you attached to? Is there a screw on the outside? Oh God, I think they screwed it in from the outside. It's so hard to say because there's so much caulking. Ugh. Oof. I can already tell right now, just from where I'm standing, that the subfloor is rotten. That's fine. So exciting! Haha. Look how spacious it is in here. It's already so much better. This on its own, I think, would be a perfectly fine sized kitchen. And yet, I get more than double the space of kitchen in my Airstream. I'm so happy about that. Moving on to the ground. This is the part where I'm for sure gonna have to wear a mask because I could feel how squishy it is right near the edge here. Right here, it's squishy. So that's gonna not smell good. The other mask I had back in the bowler restoration was very good to me, but I decided I would treat myself to a full face mask for this one since I'm going to be probably dealing with some asbestos once I start pulling the ceiling apart. So got myself a fancy mask. God, I'm so scared. This is the moment of truth. How bad is it? Oh. Okay. Hey, not bad. Okay. Oh no. Look. Water. Oh man, this is so mushy. Why? Why? Well, I couldn't expect to be the one lucky person with an old Airstream and no floor rot. Look at this. Oh. Oh. This is so gross. Ugh, I feel like I shouldn't even breathe in here. Yucky. Chaos. All right, I am discovering right now that I need to purchase a crowbar, and I live very far from town. So for now, because it's almost dinner time, I'm going to have a shower before I eat because that is so gross. And then we will come back to this tomorrow when I have a crowbar. It's the end of July, and look at me. It is cold today. This is not being a hot summer. There's been a few days, but it's cold. It's cold today. Today I just want to get a little bit of cleaning done, and I postponed my town trip one day. So a little bit of cleaning, more fun tomorrow. I really don't want to put my mask on, but gross. So I put out some ant traps last night, and that is because I discovered that all of this mushy wood has highways for the ants in it. Look at this. And so we have an ant problem. And I put these traps out, and it's been less than 24 hours, but I have thought about these traps so many times because the way they work is the worker ants bring food from the traps back to the colony and it kills the colony, which means it's toxic. And I'm just thinking about it a lot. And if it's toxic for ants, is it toxic for other good bugs? Well, it's not that ants are bad, but like good bugs, like bees. Let me know your thoughts in the comments because I really don't want to mess with the bees and the other good bugs. But I also really don't want ants in my Airstream. And sometimes you have to choose the lesser of evils. So what do you guys think? And yes, I'm a hippie.
I can't breathe. The idea is that I don't want to remove anything that isn't rotten. So if it's hard and I can't rip it up and it doesn't crumble, I'm going to leave it. And I've decided what I'm going to do is just fill in the spaces that are empty with reinforced self-leveling cement later. Because this will be underneath the countertops, that is, I think, the best route forward. So I'm going to keep assessing where the mushiness ends and the solid wood begins, and then that's it for this step. Then we'll move on. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so it stops right about here. Yeah, so this is the line of rot, and it doesn't extend further back. So that's a really good thing.
Wow, oh my god! Woo! Trees are falling everywhere! Gotta go to the edge of the field to see the real action. Wow, okay, so this is a bag that is from all the way over there. I better catch it. Ah! No! It's going up the driveway. I turned the corner. So earlier today, off camera, it was not windy and I actually wasn't expecting wind today because I never checked. But I decided to secure my solar panels very well today. Just why not? It's a good thing I did, oh my goodness. All right, that was a wild storm. I did not get it on camera, but the gazebo over top of my kitchen, my outdoor kitchen, 2 of the legs broke out and I had to go fix that, as well as a mirror that I have been restoring, again not on camera, fell and smashed all over the place. So, eventful. Let's get back to work here and regain some of the wins. One big win is the fact that there's actually a lot less rot than I expected. It seems to end right about here, and yeah, there's very little that I'm gonna have to cut out here. So yeah, a win's a win. I should wear a mask. The stuff under here is probably so bad for you. The nice thing is the subfloor underneath this secondary layer is the original floor, and it is coated in all sorts of harmful substances, and it is very, very solid. There isn't a single area on the actual original subfloor that is rotted out so far. And this was definitely the worst of the floor from what I could see walking around. We might uncover more heinous sins in the future. That's just the way it goes when restoring old campers. But the back here, that's solid. So I'm really happy to see that. It's just the OSB wood on top of the subfloor that some other previous owner added on that is rotted. And then subfloor is hard as a rock. So really a win is a win. And I'm finding lots of wins here.
That's solid wood. So that means this step done, and now it's cleanup time.
Anyway, not as rotten as I thought it would be. Did you think it would be this rotten? Or more?
More.
A win's a win. Today is the final day of kitchen demo, and all I have to do now is just clean it up and get ready for the next steps, which actually involve building things up. So this will be a trend for this whole entire Airstream. I have an idea of what I want, but I'm also winging it as I go. And I thought I was going to leave these supports on the wall because it takes a lot to mount into the walls of an Airstream. And I had more faith than I probably should have in the last people who did renovations. And it turns out that a lot of these supports are actually just screwed right into the aluminum, and they were just hoping for the best. So I'm gonna have to improve that anyways. And that is what I'll be doing. That's the last of the demo. Yeah, that's it. That's all they did. There's nothing more to it. They just screwed into the aluminum walls and hoped for the best. That's great. Oh no, it endlessly spins. Never mind. think while I'm here, I'm just going to get rid of these screws that are all up on the ceiling here from their little makeshift light system. Why not? This is gross to me. Like the dust comes out, it stinks. Just a reminder of how many heinous sins are behind the walls here. And my plan is just to seal all of these up and hide the sins and make it like, but this is the most scary thing. I still haven't decided if I'm fully ripping it out or if I'm just sealing it and covering it. Oh! Mold underneath. Gross. So moldy, even just under the wire. Oof, so yuck. I think I should have been wearing a mask, but now I'm almost done. So when I install the skylight, it's gonna just be a cutout here. So I'm cutting this whole thing out. All right, that's it for kitchen demo. Now, one really, really good sanitization of the walls, an actual wipe down of the walls, and that's that. I'm happy to get this part over with because it's the yuckiest part. So to wash the walls, I got this little microfiber and water and bleach. Just a little bit. I'm wearing my mask just because it might drop into my eyes because I'm going to be doing the ceiling. Cue the montage. I just went and checked on the Airstream. It's been a couple hours. It is bone dry. It was a nice hot day today. And before I wrap up this episode, I think there's one more thing I'd like to include in it, and that is paint. Now just primer, but the reason for this is it is an antimicrobial paint, and if I'm going to be putting cabinetry down, I would like to make sure the whole wall is sealed in this stuff. All right, so it is about 8 p.m. and so I don't really have that much time. It's gonna get dark soon. And I still think that this is an important step. I have lots to do later in the build, like patching these holes. It's a bit of a rush for time, but then I'll feel satisfied ending this episode because the before and after will be better, more gratifying. This is my favorite type of primer. It used to be pretty inexpensive and it works so well. Everything adheres to it. I used it for my bowler and I love it. And now it is a freaking $100 Canadian for one can. I don't know what happened. That's wild. I love painting. It's So gratifying. You might be wondering why I'm leaving all this damage on the walls and priming over it. And that's because this primer is actually going to be deep behind several layers of several things that will hide all of this texture. So I will explain the vision in a future episode, but you're not going to be seeing the texture of the walls as they are. You're not going to be seeing all of the paneling and the repairs that have happened over the years and the damage. It's all going to be different than it is. But this is an important step nonetheless. All right, I'm gonna let this dry and go enjoy the sunset, and I'll see you guys in the morning to show off the beautiful after of all this work so far. So it is the next day, everything is dry, it looks great, it smells way better in here, even though the floor is wide open, and that makes me feel really good. So now the Airstream is ready for the next step, which I'm actually just about to start filming. I'm gonna fill in this big hole in the ground and then get going with the actual building of the cabinets, which once again, I'm very intimidated, but it should be fun. So thank you guys so much for joining me in this first episode of the Airstream build, and I will catch you in the next one.